Right, welcome to this special edition of Speedway the Inside Dirt. We're gearing up for the Brisca F1 Stockcar World Final, and with me I've got Jayden Ward, the 971 NZ, and William Humphries, 94 NZ, that'll be representing our country over at the Brisca F1 World Final. So guys, welcome along tonight, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about the UK trip before we head over there, eh?
Sweet, man.
Yep, sounds good.
So I guess for both of you, we'll start with Jayden. How did the opportunity come about to race at the F1 World Final this year?
Placed third in the World 240s this year, and the winner of that event usually gets the invite to go over. Benji Sneddon won it, but obviously turned down the invite to go over. Likewise with Thomas Stanaway. So we jumped at the opportunity to do it. We wanted to do it for a few seasons, so yeah.
Well, William, you obviously, it's been a bit of an up and down season for you, but you went over last year. How did this opportunity come about to get over once again?
Well, after racing on the tarmac last year, we wanted to give it a good shot on trail, which it's on this year. And yeah, we got some good contacts there from last year, the Riley family and all that. They helped us out massively, and yeah, they've helped us out again this year and getting us there, and getting the opportunity to drive Denny Wayman's car, and yeah, just we started falling into place, and it's just something we were planning on doing, and it's happening there.
So obviously, William, you've raced over there last year. Jayden, this should be your first time heading over to the UK to race or in general?
Yeah, first for everything, man, and looking forward to it.
First for everything, first trip out of New Zealand as well?
No, I've been everywhere else, mate. Not there.
Sweet.
So I guess for you, have you watched much of the Brisca F1 racing on YouTube and the likes, or will you be watching a bit to get the gist of how it goes over there?
Oh, recently, yeah, I've been watching a few things, but previously haven't watched none of it. Never really crossed my mind to, but we'll just take it as it comes and take in the experience and learn.
How about you, William? I know you went last year, but obviously this year it's going to be a whole different story being on shale, and I guess the real focus being on shale. Have you sort of remembered much or watched a bit of action from yourself last year, or watched a bit of racing from of recent to gear up before you head over, see who's up there?
Yeah, no, we've been following it all year, and keeping in contact with everyone over there, and they're letting us know how to go and whatnot. But yeah, just learned a lot last year, just from the no wheel guards and the bumpers and all. The wheels been pretty open and stuff. So by the time we had our final meeting there last year, we were starting to get the hang of it. And, more front to back contact instead of sliding into the side of people like we do here. So just to drive them a bit differently. But hopefully I can continue from where I left off there last year.
That's all right. Jayden, for you, whereabouts are you racing when you get over there, mate?
31st of August, we're in Kings Lynn. Was it 14th, the overseas meeting?
Yep.
Yep. Following day, the World Final, then 16th, Northampton.
So just the 4 meetings for yourself?
Yeah, 4 meetings. Watch what you guys get up to when we're over there.
Is there a possibility you might be able to fit something in between, or just rolling with it while you're there?
Can I do anything else, eh? Just stick with what we're doing.
Sweet. How about you, William?
We're just having a quick trip this year, just doing it all as cheap as we can. Just doing the overseas night, the World Final, then the Masters at Northampton. Just all that one weekend, and it's looking like we're doing the F2 World Masters the same day at Northampton as well as the F1.
Are you racing on any tarmac? Obviously, Jayden's said he's only racing at Kingsland and then Northampton, which is also these days on shale. Are you going to hit any tarmac tracks while you're there?
No, it's just Northampton and Kingsland's all I'm going to this year.
Sweet, so nice quick trip for both of you, eh? When it comes to the World Final, that's the one you are both going for, the big one. The atmosphere, I guess, William, you've been there, the atmosphere. What is the atmosphere like? I've heard that it's probably second to team champs when it comes to our racing.
Yeah, it's probably similar to our New Zealand champs, so it's pretty big over there. The whole stadium's packed out, track walks where all the fans are allowed on the track and meet all the drivers, and just the whole lead up to the race. You're there all day, time trials and all that. It's just a massive lead up to the race, and the atmosphere's pretty cool there.
So, with you, Jayden, I guess you both have stood on the top step of New Zealand champs podiums, and both on team champs podiums. do you think with you, Jayden, that the occasion will get to you at all, or once the helmet goes on, is it just like a New Zealand race, but obviously having to adapt, I guess, to different cars with the occasion and the atmosphere in the moment?
Yeah, I'm really not one really to get nervous or anything like that. I'll just rise to the occasion and take it as it comes, you see. But I'm really looking forward to it and see what it goes like.
Do you guys know what cars you guys are running this year for the World Final, or just in any races while you're over there?
Yeah, I've got Danny Wainman's shale car. He's been running just his tarmac car this year on both services, so his shale car's sitting there, so he's organised that for me. So it's a top car. He's done the last couple meetings in it and gone real well, top fives every race pretty much. So yeah, I've got that for all 3 of my meetings.
How about you, Jayden? Do you know what you've got over there at the moment?
Sort of, not really. Matt Newson's, we've been told we're having a drive-in. But obviously Guy Parker organises everything, and we haven't been 100% confirmed with what we've got yet. So we probably will find out later in the week.
Do you know how exactly does the World Final work for you guys? Obviously, the semi-finals have been for the UK competitors, I guess you could say. So when it comes to you guys, how do you guys sort of make the grid? Or is it just a certain you guys are there and that's it, you're racing?
There's rows reserved for overseas drivers, like row 3, row 6, row 9, row 12, and then at the back. And all the overseas drivers, us Kiwis and the Dutch, during the day we'll go out and we'll do 2-lap time trials each. And yeah, that's how you determine what row we start on. So fastest overseas driver will be on row 3 inside, and second will be row 3 outside.
So is it literally, you literally go out there and just get your 2 laps, or is there a few 2-lap runs for each person?
The 2 laps are 2 laps. To go out to 2 laps, pull on the infield, then all the overseas drivers do that, then you go out and you do it again.
So you say row 3, row 6, row 9, etc. For you guys, is there any preference of where you want to start, or is it just a case of you're on the World Final grid and just make the most of the opportunity, Jayden?
Well, we're in the World Final, so it's pretty much soak it in really. Start anywhere, the main goal, finish the race. Being a part of it's really the main game of it,
How about you, William?
Yeah, it's the same. You can't go over and expect to win really. You disappoint yourself. You want to go over there and enjoy it. Obviously, you want to start up far up the grid as you can, because it's less cars you've got to pass if you're going really well. But yeah, the aim of it's just to finish really, because it's pretty hard going out there. 36 cars on tight little tracks they've got.
How many laps?
25 for the World Final.
Sweet. So I guess like you just touched on, you don't want to go with the expectation of winning it, because these guys, they race week in, week out, so to speak, the likes of Frankie and Tom. With the time trials then, could that be a personal little goal to try and maybe just be the top international time trialist, to start on that row 3, grid 5, or even just be the highest international finisher, just something like a personal goal maybe?
You always want to try and be the fastest Kiwi.
Yep.
But then it's hard against the other Dutch because they've got their own cars there as well. We're all in foreign cars, so. But yeah, you definitely always trying.
What about you, Jayden? I guess that goal of the fastest Kiwi would be pretty cool.
Finishing probably better than the time trials. I don't think time trial really means jet, in racing point of view, but I suppose it is something to look forward to and aim for there.
When it comes to, that's it, bragging rights. There's obviously yourself, Jayden, William. Jordan Deere is going to be joining you on the trip. We're not 100% confirmed on the 4th Kiwi over there. The U4 are obviously guaranteed a spot on that grid regardless of the time trials, because like you said, there's a few at the back. Do you know how many Dutch get to sort of have a crack at the time trials? Are they pre-qualified, or do some of them miss out on the night?
I'm sure how it works. I think they qualified during their season in Holland to get in the time trials, and I think there's maybe 8 or 10 Dutch, 4 Kiwis, and then there's a last chance qualifier race on the night as well. There's 2 spots for last chance qualifier, like our repechage kind of thing, so the Dutch can join in with the UK drivers and that, so they can get last chance as well.
Now, we talk about world champions. Obviously, I I don't know if you guys know much about Stu Smith Jr. Obviously, he's the current world champion. Unfortunately, won't be defending his title because of retirement now due to injury, unfortunately. How much of Stu Smith Jr.'s racing did you sort of get to experience and watch, I guess, via YouTube or when he was even in New Zealand? And how cool was it for him when he was world champion in bits and pieces?
I just remember when I was little, he came in teams race for the Mustangs. I think it was 2006. My old man in that, and he had the big rollover with Kerry Brisca. Yeah, I remember meeting him then, and then we caught up and talked to him quite a bit over in England last year when he won the world final, and they're just all good people over there, and it was good to watch him, good to see him get it.
About you, Jayden?
I don't really know him personally myself, but obviously when he was over here in New Zealand, loved his style of driving, really aggressive and smooth operator, very fast. But I've watched actually a few of his videos on YouTube, and definitely one a lot of people over there should probably aspire to be like. But good.
When it comes to obviously the world final, the semi-finals have been now, and the front row, it's going to be Frankie Wayman Jr. from, I guess, grid position 2. They like to call it rows over there, but grid position 2, outside front row. And Tom Harris, who's basically the king of shale at the moment over there off pole. Do you think, aside from you guys wanting to obviously have a crack at the world title, do you think those other Poms have got a lot of chance against Frankie and Tom? They seem to be on pretty good hot form at the moment.
Every dog has their day. Mechanical failures are anything to get anyone, so it's anyone's game. But hey, those two probably are the best in the game, so it'll be hard to beat, especially both off the front row.
William, lots of lead on the second row as well. The whole first 2 rows are top drivers. Anything can happen. It's the same as here. First corner push over there is pretty unreal with that much horsepower and that many cars. And the corner's been that sharp. So anything can happen, but if Frankie or Tom get away, they're going to be hard to catch.
I gather with there being so many cars on the track, that traffic's going to be a problem too, isn't it? So they're going to have to get through black cars as well.
Because over there the rules are a little bit different to, I guess, how we play when it comes to lap cars. If you're a lap down, you sort of can't attack unless you are going for the path. Is that right, how it works? Or do you just use the bumper and who cares?
Are we allowed to hit over there? I don't know.
I don't know, ask Tom maybe.
Well, William said there's punch ups in the pits and stuff, and you hit them, so I'm not sure we want to get involved in that.
Over there, William, I guess you're probably going to be more knowledgeable on this when it comes to the UK style. How is it over there with the pits, the people in general? What can Jayden expect to experience? We know Jayden's out there when it comes to New Zealand. Everyone knows Jayden, but he's going to be in a whole new league when he gets over there. What can Jayden experience when he gets over there when it comes to the likes of their pit etiquette and things like that? Because I heard it's pretty different.
Yeah, Jayden will fit right in, I'd say. Nah, it's pretty different. All open pits, all the public are allowed in there. A lot of drinking during the meeting in the pits.
Obviously, just
I think it's compulsory. Yeah, the only people who aren't drinking are the drivers. I think it's compulsory for the crew to drink. But no, it's just completely different rules. It's with safety. They've got their safety rules we don't have, and then they got a lot of safety rules. Or they don't have safety rules that we have, kind of things. And it's just completely different. Run completely different. A lot longer, slower meetings as well.
Yep.
Not as many races, and you're there all day. And it's completely different.
So World Final Day sort of works on time trials early afternoon, World Final race at night, and that's about it for the day.
There's a practice earlier on, or last year there was. I think we had a practice around 11 o'clock or something, and then time trials were 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then it was all put your cars on the track, big grid walk for all the fans and everything, and then all the cars go into quarantine. And they're not allowed to be touched until the World Final. Cool. So they're all locked up in an enclosure. And then they get driven out for a Grand Parade lap, belted in on the track. It's a long day. Well, everyone stays at the track, all the cars there, so you got to go down there, work on your car early morning from the night before.
when it comes to heading over, is there anyone in particular that you'd like to meet while you're over there, or pick their brain, or even just friends you want to catch up with, Jayden?
I'd like to catch up with Conor McGregor, Russell Fury, motivation. On a racing point of view now, maybe Tom Harris pick his brain, a few things, but other than that, no.
Yep.
How about you, William? You've probably made a few friends over there.
Yeah, just be good catching up with everyone that we met last year, and they were also good to us last year, so it'd be good to go back and see them. And staying with a few of them, staying with the Rileys and whatnot, and it'd be good to catch up.
Is there anything else you got planned on your trip while you're over there, Jayden? You say you're racing on the 31st of August at Kingsland. You're not racing again till the 14th. You got a couple of weeks up your sleeve. Remembering we've got a public program. What are you heading up to when we're off, Jayden?
We'll go experience, some big things over there. Malcolm Artois coming over with us, so he's got some business to attend to. So me and Josh Walsh, he's coming over with me. We'll let loose and do a few things over there and travel the countryside and see what happens. Experience the nightlife in London with William and Gordon and see what happens. So
is it, yes, as I say, what sort of support crew are you taking over? Malcolm and Josh?
And Walshy.
Sweet. And William, yourself, obviously only the couple of meetings, it's a short trip. Are you trying to fit anything in or whatnot, and got any support crew heading over with you?
Yeah, we're only pretty much in England for a week this time, and yeah, me and Lee Uhlenberg's coming over with me, so we're going to shoot to London for a couple of days, catch up with his brother Carl, and just then meet up with the other New Zealanders over there.
I'm sure we'll cause some chaos in London somehow when we meet up. Yeah, I don't think it'll be hard, to be fair. Right, so I guess the one final question is that we're going to get to is World Final. It's the last lap, and the other one's leading. You're within striking distance. You're punting them off. You're going for the win, or is it a Kiwi 1-2 certain, not caring who wins?
Good defence.
Yeah. Hot dogs?
Oh, you'd have to go together, wouldn't you?
Together off the end, or?
Off the end, yeah. No, I don't know. See what happens on the occasion. See if we're battling from somewhere down the back, I don't think it makes a difference where we finish. For 1 and 2, Williams off the end.
So in general, it's just last lap, last corner, and regardless of where you are on the track, whether you're last or whether you're first, someone's going off the end, eh?
While you're there, you might as well make a statement, eh? Yeah.
Hey, that's the one, guys. Hey, look, we'll catch up plenty over there, I'm sure, and good luck. Obviously, you want to thank some people as well while we're at it too, Jayden.
Yeah, Malcolm Nartai at Suck It Up. He's been a big supporter of this whole trip. Likewise with Sean Pearson at Sharky Engineering, John and Gregory at Ours Litterbins in Wellington, and that's all my usual sponsors, Bruce Ward, Stephen Ward, Mum and Dad, and Geartech Automotive and Palmy.
How about you, William? You've probably got a few people you want to thank for getting you on this trip.
Big thanks to Danny Wainman for the car, and the Rileys for helping that out, Dave and Ben Riley, and probably Max Herzog for the F2. And just everyone who's been buying the raffle tickets and all that, just helping out. And just all my sponsors, and just everyone who's been helping out all year.
Alright, well that pretty much wraps us up here for this edition of Speedway the Inside Dirt. Fingers crossed next time we'll be catching you from England.